Hello everyone. So in last session we discussed how we can fetch the data. Okay, so we fetch only one employee. Okay, so now in the today's session we want to fetch the all the data from the database. Okay, and second task we have to do in our session, we are going to create the util package. Okay, so in the util package, we are going to store our driver and the connection. So we don't need to be create connection again and again. Okay, so let us see how we can do. So come to in our code. So what we will do, we are going to create a new project. So yesterday we created the teacher application. Now in today's session, we are going to do the employee application. So for that, I'm going to create a project. Then go to new project, Java project, and I'm going to select here employee. Then click on next, finish. So employee project created for you. So in the employee, let us create first packages. So first package for our view for our application. Second package is our for storing the encapsulated class is known as com.model package. Third package we are going to create for com.dow. Okay, and then after we are going to delete this file. We don't need this model info. Now let us start from com.view. I'm going to create here main class where I want to add public static void main function. Okay, so now here let us print something. I'm going to create the employee application. Now let us run. Yes, I'm going to create employee application. It means our infra is ready now. Let us start with the very first step is that let us create the encapsulated class. So how we can create the encapsulated class? So right click to the model package, create a class and class name would be employee. Okay. And in the employee class, I'm going to create attribute like integer EID, private string ename, private string e-address, and private double e-salary. Okay, so these are my data members, and I'm going to create the member function through getters and setters, generate, and source generate toString, generate. So we have created the encapsulated class. Okay, now control S, save. Then after, let us create the table as well inside in our database. So click apply and OK. Right click, open SQL scrapbook, create table E1 EID integer ename var 200 e address. Again it's var 200 e salary. It's double. Okay, just make sure your table no need to exit. So table is not exist. That is why table has created successfully. Let's see our table. So select start from E1. I will go execute current text. Okay, table is coming. So now once table it is coming, then just you need to be disconnect your database. You don't need to be connect because now you are going to work for your console. Okay. So now encapsulated class is done. Now we are moving for our next layer. This is known as DAO. And here I'm going to create a class is known as employee operation. Okay. So employee operation class I'm going to create here. In the employee operation, first let us create method for insert. So how to do the insert method? So public, we know that at the end we are getting the integer value, public integer insert employee, and we are passing employee. Okay, so here we are going to create our boiler code because at the end we are going to get an integer value. That is why I'm creating the integer data type. So here, uh, now if we can see our first step, that load driver, and second create connection. So these two steps, now we are going to store inside the package. Okay, we are going to store as well the closing statements as well. Okay, so what I mean, so I'm going to create a new package here where I'm going to give the common file. So I'm going to give my name com.utils. In the com.utils, I'm going to create a class. Okay, so I'm going to create here class my connection. So this is my class, my connection. Here I'm going to create a method for to store the connection. We will just call the method, so we don't need to be write again and again the same step. So here I will write public static because I don't want to create an instance. So that is why I have written static, public static void get connection. So our method name is now get connection, and here let us create first connection. Connection con is equals to null and return con. Okay. So now here return type. What is the method return type? So this method will return connection. Okay, because at the end you are getting the con. Okay. So connection con we have created. At the end we are getting the connection. So now here, let us first load the driver. But first of all, we need to add the driver to our project. So for that, go to build path, configure build path, click libraries, click on model path, add external jar and the Derby jar. Click on OK, apply, close. Now in the reference library, go to Derby, and in the JDBC, we will find our driver copy qualified name, and here click class dot for name and pass the URL. Okay, once URL is done, then handle it through try catch block. Okay, once it is done, then after in the second step, what we have to do, we have to create a connection to the database. So let us copy the URL of the database. So con is equals to our second step is driver manager dot get connection, and here pass the URL. Okay, this method throws an exception. That exception name is known as SQL exception. That exception we handled. Okay, so at the end we are returning connection reference. Okay, so let us come to our code, and here we don't need to be write the method. What we will do, let us create first prepare statement because we need prepare statement. PST is equals to null, and connection con is equals to my my connection dot get connection. If I call, so connection will come automatically. So we have converted our two lines now is in form of function. So we are just calling the functions. Okay, if we done this, then let us create query. So string SQL is equals to insert into our table name is EE1. Okay, so insert into EE1 EID comma ename e address comma e salary values is equals to question mark comma question mark comma question mark comma question mark. Okay, query is done. Now let us execute our fourth step. Okay, so now here if I can say that, so what we have to do for the fourth step, so we have to convert query to statement. So now we have converted to the statement. So here we need to be handle the type of exception is known as SQL exception. So handle it through try catch block, because here we have not created the connection when we didn't handle the try catch block. Okay, so earlier we used to do, but now we have separated the my connection, so hence we need to be handle again the try catch block here. Now once our fourth step 50% is done, then next process the question mark. So first question mark is belongs to integer, so pst dot int set in first e dot e dot get id. Then second pst dot set string, second question mark e dot get name, pst dot set string, third it belongs to e e dot get address, and fourth is belongs to set double, fourth e dot get salary. And once it is done, then after we have to return check is equals to pst dot execute update. Okay, now fifth step is done. Again, we need to close the connection always and the statement. So what will you do for that? Okay, so what will you do? So instead of write manually, create the method here. Okay, so here we are going to create a method public static void close connection and statement. So this is our method name, and this method will take prepare statement object and the connection object connection one. Okay, so now in the method what we have to do, con dot sorry pst dot close, and then after what we have to do, this method throws an exception, so handle it through try catch block, and second con dot close. After we can remove this through through the resource block in the try catch. So here we have to created the method for connection and statement. Again, we have to create the same method for the result set, because next time we are going to use the result set as well. So copy the same method and paste. So now the method name close connection statement and the result set as well. So method name. So here we have achieved polymorphism. Okay, so we did method overloading. So result set rs comma. Okay, so here close rs dot close that we need for the next time. Okay, so now come to employee operation, and here we don't need to be close here. We can directly close through the finally block. So finally, and in the finally let us call my connection dot right now we have the connection and the statement only, so that is why we are going to call this simple. Okay, once it is done, control a control shift f for formatting. Once it is done, then come to our main, and here let us create first employee. So employee is equals to new employee, e e dot set id is equals to 101, e dot set name is equals to Parag, e dot set address is equals to Pune, and e dot set salary is equals to 1.2. And then after what we have to do, guys, we have to just call our method. So how we are going to call? So system dot out dot println new employee operations, new employee, new employee operations not coming operation. So new employee operation com dot import com dot dow. Okay, so now here system.out.println new employee operations dot insert employee and pass e. If the e return 1, that means data has inserted successfully. Now I will run the code. Yes, 1. So data has inserted successfully. Let's see. Click on connect. Come to SQL Scrapbook, current text. So we have inserted the data. So here we are going to insert the more data because we want to store multiple employees because we want to find after that. So 101, then 2, I mean Mumbai. Then again I'm going to execute 103, so Delhi 3.2. Now 104, 9.2, 5, Ocean 2.2, then 106, Raj from 8.2. Okay, so now we have the employees, okay, in the database. So now what we have to do? Now we have to fetch the all employees from the database. For example, so here we have these employees. So these employees now we have. So these employees now we have to fetch. So come to in our paint. So right now what we have to do, we have to fetch the employee. So yesterday only we saw we have the result set. So result set I'm going to create here again. So this is our result set. Result set, it is a temporary memory. Inside the temporary memory, we have our data. Okay. So for example, we have this data like we have EID same for us, and we have the data as well. We have the data as well. Okay. So now data is coming from the result. Data is coming to the result set. Once we fire query, like we are firing query like rs is equals to pst dot execute query. Okay. Once we fire this, then our database data is coming to the result set. Okay. So our database now we have to iterate and it belongs to the first pointer. So right now our pointer is here. Okay, so now what we have to do, we have to iterate this. Okay, so now here I don't want only single employee right now. I want a list of employees. Okay, so how many employees are present inside database? That many employees I want to print. So for that we are going to use the collection. Okay, so I hope all of you are aware about the collection. So for that, what I will do, I'm going to create a list. Okay, so I'm going to create a array list of employee. Okay, list is equals to new array list of employee. So for example, this list I'm going to create. Okay, so now I have created the list for the employee. So now what I will do, I will just going to iterate this first result set. So while rs dot next I will call, because right now it is my first pointer. So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to create a simple one blank memory for the employee. So employee is equals to new employee. Okay, so here I'm going to declare employee again. Okay, so now one blank memory I have created for the employee. Yesterday only we saw. So once I have created, so what will happen? So this red color is your array list. For example, let us understand this is your array list. Now you have declared this blue color memory. This is your current object for employee. So this is your employee now. Okay, so employee contains two things. First is your EID and second one is your ename. Okay, so these two information right now employee contains EID, ename. Okay, so right now it is a blank data. There is nothing. So now what I will do, I want data from my result set. So I will set this E. Okay, so I will set this EID as a data from my result set, from my data result set. So how I will do that? So E dot set EID. What EID? Whatever I'm getting from my RS. So whatever I'm getting from my RS dot get int first column indexed. Okay. Now second again same E dot set E name, whatever we are getting from the rs dot get string column index second. So now once it is done, loop will be like two methods it's called, and then after what we have to do at the same time, once information field to E, simple what we have to do, we have to add to the list our E. Okay, so we have to add our list and then after we have to close the loop. Okay, so once loop will be traveled. Okay, so first information it is travel, then it will go to the employee and then it will add to array list. Again, loop will be iterated to go to next. Again, this loop travel. Again, second time Sai and Ram will go to the employee and then after it will go to the array list. So now once array list is over, then after what you are going to do, you are going to return the list and now we are going to print the list. So this is a simple logic now we have to do with the help of result set. Okay, so result set contains the method like next method, getInt method, getString method. So these methods are very helpful to fetch the data from the temporary memory. Okay, so now what we have to do for that? So now comes to our code. So here let us write the method. Okay, so now I'll write method like public. At the end, we are getting list. So list of employee. My return type would be now list of employee. And my method name find all employee. I'm not passing anything now. Okay. So now this is showing an error because we need to be import the java.util. Then after what we have to do, guys, we have to just again create a list. So list of employee list is equals to new array list. Okay, so new array list we have created. Then at the end, what we are going to do? So we are going to return the list. Once it is done, then now what we have to do? Again, let us use the prepare statement. PST is equals to null. And now here we have to call result set. So result set also we have to use. So result set rs is equals to null. Now connection con is equals to what we have to do. So connection con is equals to my connection dot get connection. So now connection is created for you. then call string SQL is equals to select star from, what is our table name? E1. Select star from E1. Now query spire, convert query to statement. So PST is equals to connection dot prepare statement and pass SQL. Okay, so it throws an exception. So handle it through try catch block. Okay, so now once it is done, so right now you can see there is any question marks? No, there is no question mark. So now what you can do once your fourth step is done, then fifth step we have to use execute query because it is a select operation and execute query returns result set. So rs is equals to pst dot execute query. Once it is fire, once this statement got fire, so what will happen? You are going to create a temporary memory. So now once temporary memory is created, now we want to fetch the data from temporary memory to our object. So while rs dot next, so let us create one employee, one single employee, where the employee right now the no data. So here I will set e dot set EID. What we have to set? Whatever we are getting from the result set. So get in column index first. So now I have set my EID. Next second E dot set name. What we have to set? What we are getting from the second column index, and column is string form. E dot set address, again rs dot get string column index third. E dot set salary rs dot get double column index 4. Now once it is done, then simple what you have to do, we have to just add to the list dot add, and you have to call E like this. Control A, Control Shift F. Formatting is done. Now our function is ready. Find all function is ready. Now come to the our main. Okay, come to the our main, and here instead of this, what we can do, we can call through the for each loop. So here for, let us see data is off, data needs to be off, disconnected. For employee E1 colon new employee operation dot in find all employee. Okay, so now we have iterating through the loop, and then after we are printing E1. Okay, so now once I execute the code, now once I execute, I will get the all employees for my from my database. Okay, so this is a simple thing. You can do this thing instead of this for each loop, or you can use the Java 8 feature to for the iteration. So consumer we can use. So how we can use that? So just you have to call your function. Which function? Find employee, and this employee return list. So that is why we have the for each loop. So in the for each loop, we have to provide the consumer. It means what, like we have provided the E1 here. You can see. So same thing we have provided here. Yes, and we are just printing our statement. See out E. Sorry, see out yes. Once we write this, then we can run the, and our output is same. Okay, so nothing has changed here. Okay, so now we have fetched the employee and we got the employee information. Okay, now next function, let us do for to delete employee. So once we fetch the employee, so now this we can convert into the resource block. Okay, so resource block, it means now here if you can see, whenever we want to close the the connection, so we need to be call the our function. So right now here we are calling our function like close connection. So this function might be we miss sometimes. So instead of this, what you can do, you can use the resource block. So why we use the resource block? So resource block will do the closing statement automatically. So instead of finally, we are going to use the resource block from now. So I'm going to close this finally. Okay, so come to the try. Here I'm going to add the resource block. So in the resource block, I'm going to give the statements like connection con. How much code will be reduced? Let's see now. Okay, so connection we given, remove this line. Okay, then after result set, results this line also we can give to the here, and pst dot execute update. This also we can give here. So here we can say that prepare statement pst and result set rs. Okay, now once it is done, our resource block will be over. Remove this two lines, result set. Okay, now here if we can see, our code is now converted is in form of the resource block, so we don't need to be close the connection automatically. Okay, so now our code structure look like, so here we use the resource block. Okay, so automatically we are going to close the connection, so we don't need these lines. The my connection, remove this code. Okay, so now clear everyone. Okay, once it is done, what we used, so here this is resource block. Instead of closing by finally, compiler will do manually, compiler will do automatically for us. Okay, so instead of manually, we compiler will do for us. Okay, so now let's see our next example for delete employee. So for delete employee, let us create the method. So I'm going to create method public delete public integer delete employee by eid, pass integer eid. Okay, now once it is done, integer check is equals to 0, return check, create query, string SQL is equals to delete from EE1 where EID is equals to question mark. Okay, now once it is done, then call try block. Okay, so try, in the resource block we are going to provide the our details. So in the try block, let us call connection, let us create connection. Con is equals to my connection dot get connection. Once it is done, then now let us create next. It is known as prepare statement. PST is equals to con dot prepare statement. Okay, so we have created. Then after what we have to do, we have to process the question mark. Okay, so now our query converted into statement. Now here we have to process the question mark. So pst dot set int first belongs to eid. Okay, now it is done. Then after what we have to do, we have to check is equals to pst dot execute update. Okay, so this is the simple code now we have created. Okay, so instead of the complex code, we have converted our code as in form of result, the resource block. Okay, so now let's see how it's work. So come to main, and here let us call the function. Okay, so we want to delete a employee. So we want 100 for employee needs to be deleted successfully. So see out new employee operations dot delete 104. Now, if I run the code, if it is written 1, then it means deleted. Employee deleted successfully. So it written 1, it means employee has deleted successfully. So now I'll go and I'll again check all the employees. So now here, if you can see, yes, 104 is not here now, everyone. Okay, so employee has deleted successfully. Now let us do next function for update employee. So this deletion is done. Now let us write for update. Okay, so for update, let us first find by EID and then after we'll do update. So find by EID, like all of you are aware now, in the last session only we discussed. So again we will do that. So public, we are getting public employee, find employee by EID, and here we are passing EID. So we want to fetch the employee into employee E is equals to null and return E. So boiler code is created. Now let us write a query. So string SQL is equals to select star from E1 where EI is equals to question mark. Okay, so EID is equals to question mark. Then after, let us call the all the resource block. So try and at the end catch exception E. So in the resource block, first let us create a connection. So connection con is equals to driver sorry, we have already a class is known as my connection dot get connection. So now we created the connection. Now after that, what we have to do, guys, we have to convert our query to statement. So PST prepared statement, PST is equals to connection dot prepared statement and pass SQL. Okay, so now the query belongs to question mark. Okay, so whenever you have the question mark, so your result set will not directly will run inside the resource block. So for that, what we will do, we will going to create the result set outside. Result set rs is equals to null. Okay, so now let us process the question mark. So pst dot set in first and eid, then after rs, then after rs is equals to pst dot execute query. Okay, so we are firing execute query. Then after, once it is done, then after while while rs dot next and then employee e already is created new employee e dot set id rs dot get in first column e dot set name rs dot get string to, then after e dot set address rs dot get string third e dot set salary rs dot get double 4. Okay, once it is done, once it is done, then at the end we are returning the e. Okay, so now let us find employee by id. So here instead of this I'm going to comment this and I'm going to call the next function is like system.out.println new employee operation find employee by id and I want to find 102 employee. Now I will search. Yes, 102 employees coming for us. Okay, so let us write the update operation now. So update operation very easy. So once we have done this, now let us write update. Okay, so update public integer update employee, and we are passing employee whole information. Integer check is equals to 0 because we know that at the end we are getting the check. At the end we are getting the integer value. So now here let us write query. So string SQL is equals to update EMP sorry EE1 update EE1 set EI ename is equals to question mark comma E address is equals to question mark comma E salary question mark where EID is equals to question mark. So this is the simple string this query we have created. Then after once query has created, then after let us create try resource block. In the resource block, let us create the connection. So first let's close this and create catch in the try connection con is equals to my connection dot get connection. Then after convert query to statement. So prepared statement PST is equals to connection dot prepared statement and SQL. Okay, so now these two steps are done. Now moving for the next, that is mean we have to process the question mark. So PST dot set set first question mark belongs to string now. So first and what we have to set E dot get name. Second question mark PST dot set string E dot get address. Third is belongs to set double third, and what we have to set there, we have to set E dot get salary, and fourth is belongs to ID set in fourth, and then we have to write here E dot get ID. Once it is done, then after check is equals to PST dot execute update. Control A, Control Shift F. Now we have created the function update employee. Now let's see in our main function. So now what we will do first, we will take employee here. So employee emp is equals to new employee operations dot find employee by. Okay, so now if I take this, so now employee will come inside the emp. Let us print the emp. Now what is inside the emp? So emp is 102. Now I want to change this name to Parag. So what I will do, emp dot set name is equals to Parag. Okay, so now if I have write Parag, then after what I will do, I will pass to the method employee operations dot update, and what we have to update emp. Okay, so now if I run this method now, and if I check cout new employee operations dot find employee by id 02. Okay, so now let us execute. So now here everyone you can see, so our first employee name is Ameya 102, but then after we call our update function. Okay, so we call our update function. So now employee name has changed. Okay, so now you can see our employee name has changed right now here. Okay, so you can change the name emp dot set address is equals to Pune. Now if I run, now you can see guys 101 name is equals to Parag. and the rest of the data is this same. Okay, so now if you can see here, we did all the our CRUD operation. Okay, and here we use the very important term is known as resource block. So resource block will by default will close your connection statement result set. Okay, so it is very good to use for your memory leakage. Okay, so it will, you know, will avoid that. I hope the code is very clear with everyone. I'm going to share with you the project. In our next session, we are going to do the different operations on the same employee class. Okay, so I hope all of you have understand. I'm going to share with you the code file as well. Thank you all of you for joining this session.